This lesson follows directly on from the objects in contact lesson, and this one's going to be on horizontally connected particles. And the situations we're about to look at are most likely going to involve cars towing trailers or trains towing carriages, etc. So let's first of all look at the situation where a car tows a trailer, and let's have a look at the forces involved. So here we have a very simplified diagram of a car towing a trailer. So let's concentrate on the car first. So the car is going to have a driving force that's pulling the car forward. Let's call that D for driving force. Now from the car's point of view, it's being held back. That trailer is dragging it backwards via the tow bar. So as far as the car's concerned, it's connected to a tow bar that is pulling it back. And that tension that's pulling the car back in the tow bar counteract the driving force it's experiencing. So two forces that are irrelevant to the motion of the car, but still, if the force diagram is to be complete, should be drawn on there, are the weight of the car, which I'm going to write as W subscript C, the weight of the car, and the reaction of the ground on the car. Again, those two forces don't affect the motion, but we should include them if the force diagram's to be complete. So now let's look at the trailer. So the trailer, as far as it's concerned, is directly connected to a tow bar, and it's the tow bar pulling it forward, which has a tension T on it. And this is a really key point here. So the car experiences the tension pulling it backwards, stopping driving force D from having its maximum effect. The trailer, however, experiences the same tension but in a different direction. The trailer's being pulled by the tension. So depending on which side of the tow bar the object's on, the car or the trailer, they will experience tension in different directions. So to reiterate one last time, the car feels that the tow bar is pulling it back, therefore the tension in the tow bar acts against the driving force. The trailer feels like it's being pulled forward by the tow bar, therefore the tension it experiences is in the right-hand direction. And just for completeness, we've got the weight of the trailer there and the reaction of the ground on the trailer. It could also be the case that the car and the trailer experience wind resistance or air resistance, in which case we'd have a resistive force pulling back each of the car and the trailer. So those green forces are how we'd model air resistance. So now let's have a look at a question anyway. So a car of mass 800 kilograms is towing a trailer of mass 300 kilograms along a straight horizontal road by means of a light, rigid, horizontal tow bar. You are given that the driving force of the car is 1000 newtons and the car and trailer each experience a resistance to motion of 150 newtons. Now a quick point that I should point out here, we're told that the tow bar is light and rigid. The fact that it's light means that we don't have to take its weight into account. We consider its mass to be negligible, and the fact that it's rigid means that both the car and trailer travel with the same acceleration and velocity. If it wasn't rigid, if it was elastic, for example, they're a bit like a bungee cord, then the car and trailer could be travelling at different accelerations and different speeds. Not the case here. Both are travelling with the same acceleration and the same speed. Okay, so we're being asked to calculate the magnitude of the acceleration of the car and the trailer. Both will be the same for the reason I've just given. And the tension in the tow bar. Now, in this situation, what I think the best and easiest thing to do is draw two separate diagrams, one for the car, one for the trailer. So let's draw one for the car here, and we'll keep it nice and rough. So there's the car, which has mass 800 kilograms. And it's got a driving force of 1000 newtons, we're told. and it's being pulled back by the tow bar. We're also told that it experiences a resistance to motion, i.e. air resistance, or it could be friction on the ground also, of 150 newtons. So they're all the forces acting on the car that affect motion. Again, for completeness, we could say 800 G is the weight, and there we have the reaction of the ground on the car. So there's the diagram showing all of the forces acting on the car. Let's now do one for the trailer. So there's the trailer there, and it has mass 300 kilograms, and it's being pulled forward, as far as it's concerned, by this tension in the tow bar. It experiences a resistance to motion, as given in the question, of 150 newtons. So that's all of the forces, at least in the direction of motion for the trailer. If we make the diagram complete, we see that there's a weight of 300 G, and then there's a reaction of the ground on the trailer, like that. So, now that we've done the diagrams, we're able to better answer the question. So it's asked for the magnitude of the acceleration of the car and the trailer. So if we do F equals ma for each of these, we'll get an equation of motion for each of them. So let's do that. Let's start with the trailer. So if I consider right to be positive, and that's a sensible choice because right is the direction of motion, I get T minus 150 equals mass, which is 300, times acceleration, which I'm going to call A. F equals ma, the force resulting equals mass times acceleration. If I do exactly the same for the car, all the forces in the positive direction take all the forces in the negative direction equals mass, which is 800, times acceleration. And there I have it. I've got two equations now, which I'm going to call A and B. Now, because I've done it this way, with the direction of motion being positive, if I add the equations together to solve them, it will eliminate the tension, and that will happen every time, provided you make the positive direction the direction of motion. So adding them together, I get T minus 150, left-hand side of equation A, plus the left-hand side of equation B. And you can see there that the tensions will subtract from each other to leave zero. So that's the left-hand sides added together, and the right-hand sides added together. So 300A plus 800A, making clear exactly what I'm doing at each stage. So I can see T take T is 0, and 1000 take 300 is 700, equals, and that's 1100A, which means that the acceleration is 700 over 1100. So 7/11 or 0.636. So 7/11 of a meter per second squared. And now we know the acceleration, we can find the tension. So I should relabel this question as part 1A there. And let's now do part 1B. So I'll take any equation, let's say the first one here, equation A, and sub in acceleration. So T minus 150 equals 300 times 7/11, which means that T equals 300 times 7/11 plus 150 equals, so 300 times 7/11 plus 150, which is equal to 3750 over 11 newtons, or say we want to round that, 340.91. So adding an extra dimension to this question now, the car now brakes, replacing its driving force of 1000 newtons with a braking force of B newtons. All other forces remain the same as in part 1. Given that the car and its trailer go from a speed of 40 metres per second to rest over a period of 10 seconds, calculate the deceleration of the car and the trailer and the thrust in the tow bar while braking. So we'll look at this new word thrust in just a second, but before we do that, let's draw a diagram of the situation. So the diagram is going to be very similar to before, almost identical, except it's told us now. So the forces are the same as before, except the driving force of 1000 newtons, we'll get rid of that, and we're going to replace it with a braking force, which we're going to call B. And as a result, the tensions are going to change. Because the car's braking now, and as a result, this tow bar actually is going to be pushing the car when it's braking. The trailer is going to be pushing the car. And we'll see mathematically why that is in just a moment. But let's now do part A first of all. So part A, the deceleration of the trailer. Well, this is a SUVAT problem, because we know that the initial speed is 40 meters per second if we consider right to be positive. The final velocity is 0, and the time over which it does it is 10 seconds. So, and its acceleration we're trying to find. So we need an equation that links u, v, a, and t. Well, that's the equation v equals u plus a, t. So v equals u plus a, t, which means that 10a equals minus 40, which means that a equals minus 40 over 10 equals minus 4 meters per second squared. So the car has a negative acceleration, which means deceleration. So a really technical point and an easy place to lose a mark here. It's asked specifically for the deceleration of the car. This is negative acceleration. So therefore we're going to conclude the deceleration is 4 meters per second squared. Part B of this, the thrust in the tow bar while braking. So this is a similar question to before. We need to do F equals ma, but this time we know the acceleration. So in order to find the thrust in the tow bar, we're going to do F equals ma on the trailer. So considering right to be positive again, we've got t minus 150 equals mass times acceleration, which is minus 4 meters per second squared. It's accelerating at a rate of minus 4 meters per second squared, which means that t equals 300 times minus 4 plus 150 equals 300 times minus 4 plus 150 equals minus 1050 newtons. And that tells us that our direction of tension was actually wrong. In this case, tension is going to be acting in the opposite direction to what we originally thought, and that's what thrust is. Thrust is almost like a pushing tension. So the car's driving along with the trailer. The car brakes, but the trailer is still pushing the car forward even though it's trying to brake. Thrust is a negative tension. And that's it for connected particles. So the key points here are to do separate diagrams for each of the connected particles. And if you get a negative tension, you know the name of the force is actually called thrust.